Each year, Toastmasters International conducts the video speech contest designed specifically for members of undistricted clubs. Clubs that participate conduct a speech contest and submit a video of their first place winner to be judged by a panel of Toastmasters members. I am pleased to share with you the third place winner of the 2020-2021 Video Speech Contest.
Alhaji Abubakar, the catalyst, Alhaji Abubakar.
As I walked into the house, I see a familiar sight. Sitting right in front of me in the comfiest tan recliner you've ever seen was my dad, arms folded with a big smile on his face. I went over, sat next to him, and we began to talk. Little did I know, this was not about to be a normal conversation. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, my parents immigrated from Ghana to the United States in the late 80s. When they came to this country, they had one mission: to give their children an opportunity that they never had back home in their village. When they arrived, my dad was uneducated, but that did not stop him from working up to 3 jobs at one time just to be able to provide for our family of 5. I used to call my dad Mr. Clean because usually any job he worked has some sort of cleaning aspect to it, whether it was washing cars at a car wash or cleaning halls as the janitor of an elementary school. Hell, he even came home and made us do the cleaning so that he didn't have to. My dad loved everything about the work that he did. He took a lot of pride in showing up and putting forth a lot of effort. And it showed with the awards he received and how everyone he worked with raved about him. And this is exactly why 2015 was so devastating. That's the year my dad suffered a stroke, which later led to his early retirement. Now, as he sits home in that comfy recliner, it's as if each and every day, a piece of him is dying. So every week I take a trip to the south side of Chicago to visit my parents. And on this particular day, I arrive and I greet my dad as I usually do. How's the man of the house doing? And he responds, as he typically does, I'm all right. My dad is a man of a few words. In fact, my entire family really doesn't speak that much. This is probably why growing up, I was the shyest kid in class. But today it's a completely different story. I'm the most talkative person in my family, to the point where my mother tells me that I talk too much. But in my eyes, my voice is a skill that I use to pry information out of people. Like the time I found out that before my dad arrived to this country and started working to provide for us, he was doing the exact same thing back home in Ghana for his family. And also how I found out never to judge my mother's words when it comes to raising children, because she has been birthing babies since before she even started having her own. But on this particular day, I was curious to discover something specific from my dad. After 74 years of life, what's something that you still want to do? He looked at me for a long time, and then he responded, you know, it's nothing left for me. When I go to bed at night, I tell God that I'm ready to go. I was shocked. I mean, I knew that retirement had gotten to my dad, but I had no idea it was this bad. As I sat there, I did the only thing I felt he needed from me in that moment. I remained quiet and I listened. And after a brief silence that felt like it lasted a lifetime, he continued. You know, the one thing I do look forward to is when you come over. I always enjoy it. And when he said those words, everything made sense. From that big smile on his face when I walked through the door, all the way to how open he is in our conversations. I realized that I played an important role in my dad's life, that I was a catalyst. And just to make it clear to you how this happened, it started at the beginning of the year. That's when I decided that, you know what, I wasn't making the most of my life. I wasn't living every day as if it was my last, but I wanted to start. And I would start with how I interacted with my family. So now, anytime I went to visit my parents, instead of being on my phone, I would put it to the side so that I could focus on them. I began to speak with more energy and bring more enthusiasm into the household so that they would know that I was happy to be there. We even began to have more deep conversations and play games so that we can engage with one another and be more present. And just so you know, this wasn't normal for my family, but I made sure that it was. The reason I share this very personal story with you is because the role of catalyst is one that we all play. And not just to those people closest to us, but to the world as a whole. The author Neil Donald Walsh says something that changed my life. Your life is not about you, but rather your life is about the lives of everyone you touch. How will you use your life to touch someone else? And listen, you don't have to do what I do with my family, but I'll tell you exactly what you can do. Do what my dad did. Tell someone just how much they impact you, whether it's in a big or a small way, and do it today. In fact, if you don't have anyone to tell and my words move you, you can start by telling me. So I don't know when my dad's last day on this earth will be, but I can tell you this. When that day does come, there will be no regrets about whether or not I made the most of my time with him. Mr. Contest Master.